What if your network was choosing the slowest path possible? RIP routing picks the shortest route, but not the fastest. In this video, I'll show you how to configure RIPv2 the right way and expose its dangerous limitations. Want to avoid routing disasters? Let's dive in. Configuration, RIP, Routing Information Protocol. The RIPv2 routing protocol is the simplest to configure. It is mainly used on small networks because it has a lot of limitations. For example, its metric for choosing the best route is based solely on the number of jumps, with a maximum of 15 jumps. He chooses his route according to the number of jumps that separate him from the destination. He preferred to use the path with the fewest routers, regardless of the bandwidth. He will therefore take the shortest route, but not necessarily the fastest. For example, if PC A wants to reach PC B, then the data will go through the middle route, i.e. through router 2. And here's the RIPv2 routing protocol configuration. Version 1 is no longer in use. The root or RIP command allows you to access the routing protocol's configuration mode. You can see that the acronym has changed from config to config router. So by default, when you configure RIP on a router, it will be version 1. The version 2 command allows you to use RIPv2. The version must be identical on all routers. The difference between the two is that version 2 supports the subnet mask in its updates, which is not negligible. At this stage of the configuration, the RIP protocol is still not activated, i.e., it does not issue any updates. It is activated as soon as the networks directly connected to it are added with the network command. Each network directly connected to the router will need to be declared with the network command, and it is this command which activates the RIP protocol on the networks of the interfaces that have been announced. These interfaces will send and receive RIP updates every 30 seconds. The Show IP Protocols command displays information about the routing protocols that are configured. Here we see that it uses the RIP protocol. Updates are sent every 30 seconds. By the way, the next one will be in 21 seconds. The time interval for a road to be declared invalid is 180 seconds. It is advisable to set this parameter to at least 3 times the update time. Here, as updates are 30 seconds long, it would take at least 90 seconds. So, that's enough. A route becomes invalid when no update refreshes the routing table. The route then enters a hold-down state and will be marked as inaccessible after 180 seconds have elapsed, which is the default time. The delay before an invalid route is completely removed from the routing table is 240 seconds. Here, we can see that the RIP version used is v2. We can also see the networks that the RIP protocol has learned. And just below it, we see the routing sources, which the Cisco IOS uses to create its routing table. For each source, one can see the IP address, administrative distance, and the time when the device received its last update. The last show command we're going to see in this course is the show IP route. It displays the contents of the routing table, i.e. the entries for all the networks and subnets that have been learned. The letter C indicates that the route originates from a direct connection to the router's interface. The R indicates that the route has been learned by the RIP protocol. We will now detail the last row of the routing table. The first network corresponds to the remote network. Here, it's the one of PCB. The number 120 is the administrative distance, and the number 2 is the route metric. That is to say, router 1 must pass through 2 other routers before joining PCB. IP 10.0.2.2 is the IP of the next hop to reach PCB. Here, it corresponds to our router 2. This is the path, where there are the fewest routers to cross. Then, we have the time elapsed since the last update of the road. And, finally, we have the interface through which the network of PCB can be reached. If the router does not update its routing table, the commands show running config and show IP protocols can go a long way in checking for a configuration error.